Let's start with the main event. Volkanovski goes in there. I feel like that was the best performance he's had in the UFC, and this is as the champion. You know, it seems like he's just getting better. Um, what did you see? What did you see in this fight? I know you picked, of course, Volkanovski, but what did you see in this fight? Like,
Yeah, like
especially in
even
the striking.
hands off as like a teammate or
Mm,
anything like that. Like sitting back and looking, I was just thinking like stylistically, like how does Korean Zombie have any kind of advantage? Like, and considering like Korean Zombie is pretty similar style to the style that Volkanovski just fought, right? And I saw his performance against Brian Ortega, like a tall, standing guy that's going to look to box and then uses jiu-jitsu off his back. Like they're the stylistically that's the same, but I would say Korean Zombies like a more experienced, less athletic version of that. So I was trying like sitting there and I saw the way that he handled Ortega and just absolutely battered him, you know. So I was kind of anticipating that same kind of performance, and we got exactly that. Then it come down, it was pretty much a seminar, right? If there's 12 minutes of fighting and a guy doesn't even get hit, that's a pretty incredible performance. And just you can watch it, man. You can sit there and watch it, like just the variation of everything that
mhm.
Volkanovski was throwing. Like he had his leg hurt, and then he moved on back to the jab, and then he starts cracking him with the right hand, wobbles him, drops him, had him stumbling, goes for the takedown. Like he just dominated every aspect of that fight, bell to bell, which was just absolutely. It was an incredible performance. Like I had that chalked down as like I watched the whole card. That was definitely my performance of the night. Like that was just outstanding.
Mm. Yeah, it was just an incredible performance, and people don't forget, man. Like they need to not forget that he's flying all the way across the world and doing this. You know what I mean? I feel like that kind of gets lost in the mix. Flying long distances and fighting and performing well every single time. You know what I mean? Like even when he wasn't feeling well, he still kind of gutted it out. That second Holloway fight, there was a lot of stuff going on in that one, and even the fight where like the Darren Elkins fight where he hurt his rib during fight week when he was rolling with
Mm-hmm.
somebody, but they had to mask all that and then go in there and fight Darren Elkins, who takes a tremendous amount of damage, and went in there and dominated him. Yeah, this fight, like the jab was incredible. Volkanovski, it did the Korean Zombie just not have enough head movement because his jab was just hitting. He would jab
But
like
he's
straight,
never
like straight
like
down.
who's like he's the reason he's called the Korean zombie is because he
Yeah.
eats like a lot of punches and walks forward. It was almost like I was kind of laughing at it. I was like, Volk's definitely got his rangefinder. Like he's got his jab. Like he's finding his range off his jab. You look at Korean zombie and you're like, is his? I was like sitting there thinking, is his face his jab? I was like, he's just eating it and then like using that as like his rangefinder was like
Mhm.
you punching him in the face. I was like, you probably shouldn't use your own face as a jab. Like I don't think that's the best jab you could possibly find.
It's watching him like eat the jab, and I feel like he has gotten better. It's just like all of it is timing. I mean, he went through the 3 years of military stuff, and then he had all the injuries and surgeries and missing out time with that. I mean, just recovering from those types of procedures. And I feel like if he would have went over to to the US and maybe trained with Eddie Chaw much earlier in his career, maybe he would be in a different position. But I just think that he's just missing that one piece to win a title. Like, and he's getting older,
Oh man,
and his
like
style.
it's stylistically like it's
Yeah.
it's style at that point. Like if you don't have the style to beat the champ, like I just feel like that's a poor style again to have against Volk.
Mhm.
Is that exact style that Korean Zombie has, that Brian Ortega has. I just don't feel like that's Ortega come close. He come a lot closer than I thought he would. Um, but yeah, like stylistic, like his style has a huge part to do with it. Like say Ortega finished that triangle, you know what I mean? Say he finished that guillotine and then he was the champ, and then Korean Zombie come and he fought Brian Ortega. Like
Mhm.
that to me is a close fight. Like that is a
Mhm.
that is like a good fight for a title. You know what I mean? Like that's a winnable fight for the Korean Zombie. So it's just, man, so much of this game comes down to timing and opponent and styles. Like there's more goes into it than just 1+1 = 2. Like that's yeah, bulk smash.
Yeah, yeah, for real, it is. Where does the Korean Zombie go from here? People, of course, they're gonna jump on him and dump on him and say like he should retire or whatever. But I feel like that's his choice. What is it? Him, like his body, he's been through so much, right? And I feel like he took this title shot even though he was injured, because if he didn't take it now, he probably will never
Nah, it's
end up fighting for it.
title shot's a title shot. You could just
Exactly.
catch me on one leg, go for me a title shot. Like I'm gonna take a title shot. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
that's like a one opportunity to change your life. That's entirely on him. People are funny, bro. They're just gonna internet men are funny. They're gonna say what they're gonna say. You know what I mean? Like you can just take it or you can just leave it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He can do whatever he wants to do. It's just we'll play this game. It's an incredibly risky game. You can keep. It's like being a professional roller coaster rider.
Mhm.
It's like there's gonna come a day that you get sick of getting the itch to get on a roller coaster, and you just sit back and you're just happy. You know what I mean? But it's up to him when that day comes.
What is the X Games gonna have professional roller coastering? Like, what is
I'm
that
sure
gonna?
that's a thing. I'm sure that's a thing. I'm sure I watched it. Nah, there's no shit. I'm sure I watched like a YouTube. Maybe it's not like like you professionally ride the roller coaster, but I'm saying like this is a thing. No, this is where I saw it. Guy was like he was a professional roller coaster rider, and he would go down. He would go around, and he would ride a roller coaster, and then he like ranks it. Like he's just like, oh yeah, I like that second, buddy. I like that second twist with the third spin. Yeah, that was like had my adrenaline. He would analyze a roller coaster. A professional roller coaster rider. It's a thing. If you don't know, maybe just YouTube it.
Yeah,
You'll find
definitely
out it's a
will.
thing.
Well, hey, that's not a bad job. I
Hey,
wonder what the
that's
life
not a bad
expectancy
gig.
rate is.
You know what
Yeah,
I
it's not.
mean?
It's not. It's
It
like
can't be good for
professional
you.
video game player or
Can't be
something
good
like
for you.
that. You know what I mean? Like, we'll
No,
see. We'll see.
I'm not sure that would be my thing. Like sitting on the one spot for that long, I think it would be difficult.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not a video game type of guy either. Too
Hey,
much.
everyone pick your thing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I got my thing. You do your thing. We'll just have a good time.
Who do you think should fight Volk next? You know what I mean? Volk says you should come and earn your
It's
spot.
Max. It's Max. Fuck
There's
us.
no hesitation.
It was booked for it. He got injured,
Yeah.
and he was sitting
Yeah.
as the backup. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. Like, I get him. I know what he's doing by being like, see if someone, it kicks up a fuss. You know what I mean? If as soon as you book it, you wanna hear you wanna hear Holloway call for it before you. There's no reason the champ should be calling anyone out after a performance like that. So of course he's not going to get on the mic and be like, "Brr, I want to fight Max Holloway next," because obviously he doesn't, right? Like he's already beaten him twice. Like from where he's sitting, like, and then what happened? He did that the after the first. Like he did that already. Like he was like, "I want to fight Max Holloway," and then Max Holloway started acting cool. Max Holloway was the one that's just like, "Oh yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I'll go up to 55. Maybe I'll like, oh yeah, like." So now he's learned from that. I feel like you don't call out the champ. Don't call anyone out. That's not how the belt works. That's not how being a champ works. The champ sits on his hands and waits to get called out and
Yeah.
can pick and choose when he wants to respond. So good learning, Volk. Good upgrade. Good upgrade to the system.
He knows the game. He knows the game,
He
So,
knows the game. He's improving the game, understanding the game. It's good to see.
well, let's say Max will not fight for the title next, right? You got you got I think Yair and Ortega. I
Why
think if
wouldn't he?
Yair,
Why is not max?
because maybe he goes up to 155 and they offer him something he can't deny. I don't know. Maybe it's not going to happen, and maybe they're not going to pay him enough. I don't know. Maybe it could.
Did he weigh in for this fight?
Nah, he didn't weigh in for this fight, did he?
He was the backup fighter.
No, that was all fake.
Fake?
I feel like that was all fake.
Telling me the UFC lied to me?
I don't think
they
it was
would
the
look dumb,
UFC.
though. It would look dumb if, it would just look dumb. It would look dumb if, like, the guy pulls out, gets a replacement, and then weighs in anyway. That would be dumb. That's what they were saying was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
In hindsight, that would be dumb.
They're like, we have options. You know what I mean? So, Volk has options. I think he could sit back for the next couple of weeks and see, what happens with a couple of the fights, and he could get booked with whoever's next in line. I don't see anybody like besides Max. I don't see anybody else like that they could just push in there. Who's coming off a win? Who's coming off a streak? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of muttered a little bit at the top.
Yeah, I feel like they're probably gonna do Max one more, and then that's what he's saying. Like the rest of the division has got to fight someone at the top and in your spot. That makes sense. That's what the champ should say.
Yeah, because I think Yair and then Ortega, and then they're talking about I think what's his name, Gavis or somebody else, and you got Bryce Mitchell, and then you got what's his name, Emmett. You got a bunch of guys that haven't been matched up. They need to match up some people, man. It's just it just makes no sense why the title just I think like if you're a contender, you probably want to fight.
I think that's what Volk's saying. He's like, there's a lot of guys sitting around saying, I deserve this, I deserve that. Go out and fight for it. That's what he's saying on the mic. That's what he got on the mic. He's like, don't sit there and tell me you earned something. Go out there and earn the spot. Do the dance. Do the thing. Get in, put these up, put the gloves on, do the thing, and earn your spot.
Yeah. Well, earn your spot. That's definitely the lesson. Thank you guys for watching the video to the end. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we're putting out. We got a lot of things in the works, so please stay tuned.